Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our awesome YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and today I'm joined by my good friend and GVG co-founder, Ash Polson, and our very special guest, BrainScratchComm's Nayrman. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing all right. It's the third day of the 2022. Nothing's burned down yet. I mean, I got a fire going, so I'm kind of risking fate right now. So that's how it goes. But yeah, I mean, we talked earlier. So unfortunately, your year is not starting out the best. And I do apologize for that. So
it is what it is, but we'll get through it. So
yeah,
I mean, we have more topics than we usually do to start like the first 3 days of the year. Usually nothing happens until like the middle of the month.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, all the best to you and your family. Obviously, we're all about the good vibes here, so we're just sending you all that. So
of course, all the best to you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Ash? How's 2022 treating you?
It's been okay. I haven't been feeling too hot. As I just mentioned to you right before we started, I've got a stomach thing going on, and I don't think I'm getting I don't feel like sick, like I have COVID or anything, but I'm definitely feeling under the weather, and I'm not sure what's up. I'm crossing my fingers it's nothing like serious or COVID, because I'm supposed to go to MagFest on Wednesday. But of course, if I found out I was sick, I would just cancel. I'm not going to put anyone at risk ever. But I'm just hoping that whatever's going on with me isn't like something contagious like a cold or COVID or something.
Let's just hope you eat something bad. That's all.
Exactly. It kind of feels like that. But you will be happy to know that my wife and I finally finished Great Ace Attorney 1.
Oh, nice.
Which might have the longest ending of any game I've
right?
ever
I told you,
life.
You need to have some
Jesus
time.
Jesus Christ, that ending would not end. It was great, though. Like, the way it sets up for Great Ace Attorney 2, I can't wait to play this game. Like,
all of a sudden, that music box you were talking about gets a little bit more interesting, doesn't it?
Holy crap. No spoilers, of course, but the way it sets up the second game is just brilliant, and I can't wait to start playing it.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. The first case, it's a first case, but it's also one of those things where there's a fun twist to it. And okay. I think you'll like that twist to it.
Did you watch the other or the little escapades? Did you do that too?
I didn't.
Or?
I was so pushing through. I never actually got a chance to watch the other escapades. So have you?
No, but I was wondering if we were gonna, but I'm not sure if it's worth it, if it's necessary, if it's I wasn't sure.
I can't tell. I think it's just sort of its own thing. But
gotcha.
Yeah. 112 says that they did the escapades after, and Azran says they did the escapades. You don't need them. I figured it was just hey, here's some fun scenarios.
That's what I thought. Okay, I figured it didn't have anything to do with the actual main story.
Yeah.
By the way, a couple of people are saying that Ryan, that you need to turn up your volume.
I already boosted his audio, so hopefully he'll be good. Cool. Say something, Ryan.
Test. I might not be speaking loud enough.
Yeah, I boosted him on Discord, so that should hopefully be better.
Yeah, I may just need to speak up a bit more, so.
No problem. All right. Well, before we get to the actual news stories and the one that really sucks in this, but we got something that doesn't suck here at all. That is the Game Orb, our wonderful sponsor and YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While they are still running Let's Plays of Splatoon 2 and Super Mario 64 from the 3D All-Stars collection, they're also adding new games like Sonic Colors Ultimate and Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Also, there are now shorter videos and a playlist called the Game Orb Minis for clips that are highlighted. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description and check out their good friend, the Galactic Reaper. And yeah, we're still 21 away. 21 away from hitting that big 400 subs. And that'd be awesome. Also, as I'm looking over here, they got some Mario Party Superstars going on too, 4-player. So,
which is always a good time.
Oh, right. I see guest stars here. And versus both Ash and Steve.
Yes. We had a Fight a Founder session with the Game Orb recently where we played Mario Party, and they recorded it to use on their channel. It was a really fun. We played with the Game Orb and their friend, and had a lot of fun. And so Mario Party Superstars is always a great time no matter what. But they've been supporting us from the very beginning. The Game Orb has, so please do show them some love. Throw them a sub, check out their content. They're great people. And playing Mario Party was a lot of fun. And if you do want to find out more about those Fight of Founder sessions, you should check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/GVGaming.
There you go. Sell it, Ash. Sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, goodness. Well, before we get to our first story, we got some super chats. First up is Mwape Mulenga with a $2 super chat saying, hot take, Cowboy Bebop Netflix is just fine. I mean...
Fair enough.
I watched it.
Awful to me.
I did not watch it, but I tend to watch Bennett the Sage on YouTube. Saw his breakdown of it. And yeah, if you have no association with the original, I'm sure it's fine. But from what I saw, how they were changing it and how they were like how snarky they seemed to each other, they made some pretty unfortunate mistakes.
I had a bad feeling about it ever since I saw the first trailer. I'm usually open to, I'm at least open to things. And do I feel like it needed a live action remake? No, but I'll give it a shot. But ever since that first trailer, I was like, man.
It's one of those things where you can't do Bebop better. You can only do it worse. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't understand the point of even attempting it.
Yeah. Right. Like, I think the thing that might have helped it would be like showing Spike's like what I forget, is it Yakuza or just the mob days?
Syndicate.
Yeah, the Syndicate. Yeah, Syndicate days. It's been a while since I've watched Cowboy Bebop. So
I mean, it's all the same thing, really. But
yeah. So maybe you could do something with that, or showing. I've heard one of the best parts was Jet's actor. Maybe focus on him.
Yeah, he's like the only genuinely good thing about the show. So
yeah.
Gotcha.
Is what it is.
The clips I saw from on Bennett's review, Vicious. Vicious got it the worst.
Really? Did he? That's
he's not even he's not even the same character anymore.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a shame. Jaden Buck asking really quickly if I grew my hair out. Yes, but not necessarily on purpose. I was just telling Derek and Ryan that I'm getting my haircut tomorrow before I go to MagFest. So when my hair grows out to a certain point, that's when I know it's time. It gets a little mullety, and I'm not trying to ever rock a mullet. So it's time
for me.
I'm trying to hide the back there. But yeah, it's time. I'm getting my haircut tomorrow.
Do the Hearthstone little ponytail in the back.
Oh, there you go.
I have done that. Before.
You can be Moroku from Inuyasha.
Oh man, I have done the ponytail thing before, especially back in my DDR days. I wore a headband and tied my hair back. My hair was a lot longer. It was a different time. It was a very different time. You got to dig out pictures of that. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I need to. I don't know if anyone needs to see those.
I
used to wear Junko jeans, by the way, with the whole chain and everything.
Oh my God, Ash.
I had a bit of an emo phase.
For those who are not aware, for Junko jeans, here's my arm. The cloth would go out to here, like it is flared out, like just.
And I had like the chain wallet and everything. It was great. The Nintendo wristbands. I was such a nerd. It was great. I mean, still am. I just present my nerddom differently. But the whole emo nerd thing was great.
I've reached my flannel phase with N64 shirt underneath, so you know my height of fashion is still not great. Either way, we got
man.
Yeah. Either way, we got Screamo Shaman here with $5 super chat saying manager tested positive for COVID, so I had to get tested. Fingers crossed for you as well, because
fingers crossed, man.
I hope you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, sending you all the vibes we have, man. I really hope you don't have COVID. I'm so sorry to hear that.
I hope so. Ugh, that'd be awful. And finally, Hyrulean 1000 with a €10 donation saying, hey everyone, hope you all had a great Christmas. Totally unrelated, but finally got around to playing Life is Strange 2 on episode 3 at the moment, but I love it. I played and loved the first one and third one, so there you go. Quality still holds up.
Nice. I never played 2, and I'd like to get around to it at some point with my wife, but I think we want to play True Colors first. That just looks outwardly more interesting to us for whatever reason. But we're ultimately going to try to play both. But first is Great Ace Attorney 2. that's definitely coming first. So, yeah.
That's a long one. Good. Expect another 40, 45 hours, I'd say, depending.
Woo. All right.
Yeah. There's some good bits in there, especially the last two cases.
Oh, wow. Boltmouse X says, real talk, Ash's hair is better than Josuke's hair, and Ash's hair is like zero from Mega Man X. Man, some interesting comments about my hair. Thank you, Boltmouse X. Appreciate that.
I don't know if your hair is that long that you can, if you can
it's
pull
not quite
off
that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull
It's
off
not
zero.
Quite zero long. Yeah.
Also, Master Pikachu, sorry about your older sister testing positive for COVID. Thankfully, she only has mild symptoms and that she's recovering.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But yeah, thankfully, if you are fully vaxxed, it does seem like it is lessened. So
a lot milder, no less hospitalizations, less severe. Yeah. So really glad that she's vaccinated, as you said, and that her symptoms are mild. Really happy to hear that. Yeah. And I hope her recovery goes as smoothly as possible.
Absolutely. One last super chat before we move on to our stories from RecBCQ, just because I feel like they need it. With a $10 super chat, once again, thank you so much. Saying, recently I went from being absolutely fine to being in an extreme bout of anxiety, of depression for about a week. Please give me good vibes because I'm struggling. Well, you don't need to ask.
Man.
They're there.
They're there, man. I know exactly what that's like. Yeah.
It sucks when they hit. It really does suck. So all you can do is just hang in there. It can't last forever, and look at the good things.
Yeah.
I don't,
And if you ever need to, shoot me a DM. If you ever feel like you're really struggling, I'm not always available on Discord, but if I see your message, I'll totally respond. Like I just don't want you to ever suffer alone in silence or anything. Yep. It's such a difficult thing to deal with.
Yep. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to the story, first story, because man, I'm Scrimo Shame, and I'm seeing the follow-ups to your stuff, and oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I just responded in chats. I'm really sorry about everything you're going through, Scrimo Shame, and seriously.
Man, what is with 2022?
Seriously.
I thought it wasn't
2022 sucks so far. Jeez.
It's only 3 days in.
2022.
Worst post I saw about that was Betty White saw what 22 was going to happen and noped the hell out.
Yeah,
which is terrible, but
also, I mean, that said, I did have fun watching some old Betty White stuff, just to
nice,
in memory.
She was a treasure too. She was such a treasure. Rest in peace.
Scared the crap out of me because I saw Tim Curry trending today. I'm like, don't you dare.
I know, right? Well, yeah, and not even just Betty White, John Madden as well, which I'm not a big sports guy, but of course I know how tremendously, legendary he was for football. And so, rest in peace for for gaming too. Madden video games, like, geez. So rest in peace to him as well. But it's just weird at the very end of 2022, man, or 2021, John Madden and Betty White. Jeez.
It's rough.
2021, just two last fuck yous, right? before ending. Yeah.
Really seems that way. But you know what? We need some good news. Yes. We're going to start out with some good news here and get to our very first story. And would you believe the good news comes from Sonic, of all things? My God.
I mean, we've been getting the good news from Sonic the past year compared
to
of
course it does. Things, so. I'm always good news.
That is true. But this is a twofer. First up is Jun Senoue has confirmed that he's going to be working on Sonic Frontiers' soundtrack.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah. And just give me a new Crush 40 song. I want a new Crush 40 song.
Ooh.
That sweet, sweet Jun Senoue music. I mean, I'm already there. Sonic Frontiers, but it's so good to have Senoue confirming.
Yeah, do us a favor and save the vocal track. Like, don't use it as previews for the game. Just save it for, like, the final boss or something.
Oh, man. They have
like
hit
Sonic
like
Adventure
that.
3, yeah.
We can rock out to it like we did the Adventure days.
Or do the whole thing where they have the opening song like they have like City Escape, but obviously City Escape doesn't play at the end of the game. Have something hidden for that last bit. That'd be cool. But the other thing related to Sonic Frontiers that we learned in the past week was that Sega initially wanted to launch it in 2021, but they holy crap, they delayed it because it wasn't up to the quality they wanted. So
that's promising.
Yeah,
that is promising.
There was
perceive that.
Yeah, Sonic rarely gets delayed, so this is hopefully good news that they really kind of want to get it to where it needs to be. And I think this is also good news in that it shows that Sega does not need to rely 100% on Sonic. That they can just say, hey, Streets of Rage 4, Yakuza, whatever came out in 2021, that was good enough. We don't need to force Sonic out the door to keep us afloat.
Yeah, that's very good. And this actually came from Investor Q&A held last month, where Sega explained originally it was planned to be released this year, the 30th anniversary of Sonic, but we have postponed the release for a year in order to further brush up the quality. Not only for this title, but during the development phase, we've been steadily conducting analysis to improve the quality of the title before release, such as introducing game testing based on external evaluations, and I have a feeling that it will become a good game and have high expectations for it. They went on to say that this is the title with no compromise in terms of quality, and that has taken on many new challenges. So,
well, I hope. Kind of anecdotally, this does line up with those. Was it Reddit or 4chan? But either way, the leaks about how the game was already being play tested, or at least an earlier build of the game was being play tested, and people or whoever was responsible for that leak didn't think it was looking very good. They were saying, "Yeah, it's not great." So, I mean, if all that's true, and it certainly seems like it was, that would all line up.
True. At the same time, it's one of those that was 2 years ago. I believe that kind of leak happened. So
I think
year and a half to 2 years ago. That's one of those they would have played it at a super early state where most games, even Nintendo things, wouldn't be that polished. So
right, that's true.
I do wonder. I see somebody, Master of Hamster, saying now if only they let Blind Squirrel delay Sonic Colors Ultimate. This delay might explain why Colors Ultimate didn't get a delay. It's like, well, we need something Sonic this year, and it's a port. Just get it out. Be fine.
Yeah. Well, and as Rob points out in our live audience patron chat, arguably they could delay Frontiers again if need be, given that Origins is also coming in 2022, which is true. Origins is still coming. We don't know when, but I assume that's probably spring or summer.
Yeah, I would say Origins is the spring game, and then Frontiers is the... Origins could probably come out around the time the second movie comes out, and then Frontiers comes out when the Netflix show does.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I would think Frontiers.
I'm trying to think what the I'm trying to remember what the heck was Origins? I'm like, Sonic Origins. What is that? And then it's like, it's the collection. Oh my god! I completely forgot about it. Completely forgot about it.
And they haven't talked to us yet about everything it's going to include in terms of features. They've teased new features coming to these older games.
Please be the Taxman versions.
Please. Get Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 Taxman versions off the iPhone, for the love of God.
Yeah, I want to play Hidden Palace Zone in full splendor on my big TV. Oh man, I hope so.
Mm-hmm. I would love it. I let Kai play around with Sonic Mania. He likes holding controllers, so I'm like, all right, let's put a game on there and see how you do. And I swear to God, he pulled off a drop dash on his own.
I love it. Getting started early. I love it.
He's just pushing buttons, but he pulled it off. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
He get a taste for bad Nick parts already.
Might be.
Not sure. Blowing up bad Nicks.
Yeah.
112 says Sonic 3 Whitehead version would be insane, and yes, sir, it would. I just the idea of a widescreen Sonic 3 and Knuckles alone is exciting, but if it gets that extra, level of polish, that Whitehead-esque level of polish where that would be so amazing. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is just underneath Sonic Mania as my favorite 2D Sonic game, and I just love to see it get that kind of just full treatment.
I hope so.
Same. It's my favorite, and they so rarely give Sonic 3 and Knuckles the love it deserves for obvious reasons, probably regarding the music, but anytime they do re-release it, it's always the most bare bones. Here's a ROM. It's please give it the attention it deserves.
Yeah, here's Sonic 3, here's Sonic and Knuckles, but you can't play them together. It's no.
It'd be cool if Sonic could have both the Insta Shield and Drop Dash in Sonic 3. That would be cool. If you tap it, you get the instant shield. If you hold it, you charge up the drop dash. I almost said DoorDash. Imagine if you just perform the DoorDash in Sonic game.
Sonic, probably would be a really good DoorDash. Your food would definitely be hot.
Your food in 20 seconds or less.
Exactly.
I love it.
And Rob also with a good point saying the real question is whether or not we're getting the prototype music tracks for Sonic 3 and Knuckles or the ones people love. And I think that's a question on a lot of fans' minds.
I'm pretty mine.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I would say I'm pretty sure they're going to do the usual track, considering they've never cut them out.
I have a feeling they are as well. Yeah.
So
they might have just been willing to pay the extra money for this case. Like, all right, one last time, and we'll see how profitable this is.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, but I'm really hopeful for Sonic Frontiers. We're probably not going to hear anything more until like E3, but please let it be good.
I know. I do this every time. Okay.
The bright side is it's going to come out during the holidays, so whether it's good or bad, content creators are going to get paid.
That is a good point.
That is true.
That is a good point.
And Sega also say that the company would like to go beyond the first-year sales number of Sonic Forces and look forward to further increase regarding lifetime sales. I mean,
how well did Sonic Forces sell?
Such a low bar. I don't even know offhand what Sonic Forces sold.
If I remember correctly, it was just so-so. Like, it didn't do terrible, but it wasn't like... Yeah, it's like it didn't do terrible, but it wasn't like some big splash either.
Right.
Like if Frontiers is even remotely good, it'll probably outdo Forces.
Well, apparently, according to Game Reactor, Sega were pleased with Sonic Forces sales in general.
According to the Wikipedia, this is rough, but Sega stated in a February 2018 financial report that the game performed strongly. As of May 3rd, 2020, Sonic Forces, including a free PlayStation Plus version, has reached an estimated 6.8 million players on PlayStation Network.
And that's just on PlayStation.
Yeah, but that's also including a free version. So hard to say.
Right.
Well,
seems like pretty decent.
It just depends on how much is Sony paying Sega for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
yeah, I mean, I guess the good thing is it Forces set such a low bar in terms of expectations that Frontiers is going to have to really try to somehow be worse. It's that thing. I can't help but be hopeful because I love Sonic so much, and I'm in that camp who does believe that Sonic has had some good 3D games.
Yeah,
and I'll always defend that point. But it's been a little while since he's had a good one, and Forces was not it. And so let's just hope. Let's hope Frontiers really brings. Like I said, I want this to be Generations and Colors Sonic Team. That's the level of Sonic Team I hope is working on this game. And the fact that they are willing to delay it out of 2021 to improve the game's quality, I think is promising. It seems like they're really aware that the game needs to, be damn good. So, really hoping.
I mean, I'm hopeful too because, if you go into like the fan game sort of stuff, especially with like Sonic and Unreal Engine this or Sonic and prototype 3D world that. It's like running around a big open space at Sonic is just kind of fun on its own.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
So it's like even if it's not like the most complicated open world in the game, just being able to zip around all over the place should inherently be fun on its own.
Yeah.
So I have reason to expect that at least it should be decent.
Theoretically we should have good music, a good story thanks to Ian Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
And, time spent on the gameplay. So the elements seem right. We'll just have to see if the mix, bakes correctly. I don't know. I'm mixing my metaphors, but either way, let's go ahead and move on. We have a few more super chats before we continue on to our second story. First up from Jacob Tucker with a $5 super chat saying, Ash, you're not going to like the recent stance Tara Strong has taken, supporting an NFT film and shutting out anyone who criticizes her. It's saddening. It is. It
is. I read about this. I heard about this. It sucks. I don't agree with her. I've considered her a friend. I've known her through my dad for years. I think she's a lovely person, but I don't like the way she's handled this situation at all. Completely agree with you. It's a shame.
Unfortunately, she's just talked it up to haters, which
is just, it's so not that simple. She really should be, in my opinion, listening to, obviously not the trolls. There are always going to be trolls who express their feelings in ways that are not worth listening to. But the people who are really trying in good faith to communicate to her respectfully why NFTs are a bad idea, she shouldn't be shutting them down like that. And I agree with you. It sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next up is a Nerd's Ramblings with a $10 super chat saying, I feel like Sonic T is actually taking Sonic F? Sonic T is...
I assume they mean Sonic Team.
Sonic Team. There we go. Thank you, Ryan. Because I was like, I'm blanking, like going through my Sonics. Is Sonic Team is actually taking this seriously, and they actually do care. I wonder if marketing corporates are having them hold off showing gameplay. The devs have confidence, it seems. They might be at that point where they just want to show off the best it possibly can be. You know, especially if they're taking this extra time to work on it.
And you only get one chance at a first impression, right? So they have to make sure, to the extent that they can, that the first impression we get from the gameplay of this game is fantastic.
Yep,
for Here come the Sonic Frontiers High Police.
I mean, for sure. The other aspect is I wouldn't be surprised if the corporate heads were like, we have a big movie and a fancy Netflix cartoon coming out next year. Maybe we should hold off a little bit, you know, make it a big, you know, year of Sonic sort of thing.
Yeah, ride that wave.
Yeah. Right.
Jaden Buck with a $2 super chat. Ash, do you see it? Because I need to leave it to you.
Oh, I do. Here's your Big Mac, sir. Way past cool.
Oh, you don't want a cool
Big Mac, because a way past cool Big Mac would be gross. I
mean, better than the cold fries. Am I right?
That's true.
True.
Thank you, Jaden.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to our next story, which is all about, I don't know. It's the apple of my eye, if it's true. An achievement list for GoldenEye 007 has appeared. Now, I tried to track this down to see like where it appeared from, like if somebody found something, but all I found, the best I could find was trueachievements.com saying, out of nowhere, we have just picked up an achievement list for GoldenEye 007. At the moment, details on whatever this game is are thin on the ground as we haven't yet picked up a Microsoft Store page for the game, so we can't say if this is a remake, remaster, or re-release. The achievements are also different from the canceled XBLA GoldenEye 007 remake that leaked last year. So we have 55 new achievements worth 1,000 gamer score, one of which is a secret, and I don't know where it came from, but it's a good sign if it's all real.
Is there a way to tell if it's like the actual N64 game or if it's like the 360 Wii kind of half remake, half its own thing?
I think just looking at the achievements list, you can pretty much come to the conclusion that it's the N64 version, because I'm looking at like the stage names like Dam, Control, Aztec, Egyptian, complete on Agent, Secret Agent, 00 Agent, unlocking different weapons. This has to be the N64 version.
I hadn't looked at the actual achievements themselves, so I wasn't sure if they were like specifically referring to the N64 game or if it was kind of up in the air, if it was like the 360 Wii GoldenEye in name only.
Right. What's interesting is that there's an achievement called Chest Pounding Goodness. Unlock DK mode by completing Runway on Agent in 5 minutes or less.
Yay, DK mode.
Yeah, it's just interesting that they can name drop that in an Xbox. But Nintendo would have had to work with them on this, because I think it was Nintendo who blocked the initial release of the souped up Xbox port. We know this is something they worked on, and it was basically finished. The prototype's out there. Steve talked about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if after that they saw the response and Microsoft and Nintendo were like, okay, let's team up. We'll each get our own port of it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Oh my God. GoldenEye on Switch would be so hype. I mean, GoldenEye.
Well, until the glitches happen.
Well, yeah, but like the Xbox ports of Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Perfect Dark are all so good. And to have that level of polish applied to GoldenEye, I was always more of a GoldenEye guy than a Perfect Dark guy myself, and I would love to be able to play this game again on modern platforms. And I know nostalgia goggles, it probably doesn't hold up the way it did back in the day, but
of course not,
I love GoldenEye. I played so much of it.
I mean, everyone our age did at the time. I mean, the only thing I particularly want is a physical Switch cart so I can cartridge tilt with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. I'll be honest, I've never played GoldenEye 007. I didn't try it until the Xbox was already out, so I was used to Halo at that point. And going back to GoldenEye, I was like, why was this popular? Because I remember, like, during gym class, the other guys were just like, it's so amazing. But they also said the same thing about Star Fox multiplayer. So I'm like, and I played that later. I'm like, is it really?
I still have fun with Star Fox 64's multiplayer, but although I do submit that you had to be there, like you had probably play it back in the day to have a soft spot for it. It's not obviously the most complex of gameplay by 2021 standards, but or 2022 standards now, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people in our YouTube chat are saying, like Lizard 81288, imagine it being an NSO game. Yeah, maybe maybe Nintendo and Microsoft finally inked some deal, and it comes out on Xbox and NSO. I mean, we know that Banjo-Kazooie is coming to NSO this month, so obviously, and Banjo's in Smash. Clearly, Microsoft and Nintendo are happy to work together. So hopefully that just means that they've finally been able to come to an agreement on actually finishing and releasing this souped-up GoldenEye port that we know has been finished and existing for years now, just not released.
I mean, if it does happen, Ash, you and me warehouse trip mines only.
Oh, God. Yep. What was it? Facility proximity mines only? Oh, man. There's just so much. I love GoldenEye so much. I know it's an unbalanced mess, but I adore it.
I mean,
and no odd job.
No odd job, and thankfully no Farsight. Farsight was Perfect Dark only, so thankfully I don't have to deal with getting shot through walls.
Oh God, I'm at least aware of Odd Job, and honestly, it's amazing it's balanced at all, considering that they made the multiplayer on the side without anybody asking. They just like, hey, we did this as well.
The multiplayer was made by one guy, I believe.
That's incredible.
Really, man, I hadn't heard that.
It was one,
incredible.
Maybe two guys. According to interviews I've read, it was basically just one guy making little, basically Doom-esque maps to run around in just to have something to do
awesome.
while testing out all the guns and stuff. It was like, hey, I mean, multiplayer, let's put it in.
Yeah, why not?
And it became the reason everyone got it.
Gigi Alan Wake in our YouTube chat saying, Farsight, yes, you are that person that I hated playing with back in the day because I would always get sniped by the far. I was not good at I'm not good at shooters in anyway, but I was especially bad at Perfect Dark, and I would, my friend at the time would just absolutely demolish me with the Farsight, and I hated it. That laptop gun too. Screw the laptop gun. Oh God, it's all coming back to me now.
The trauma.
Yeah,
my FPS trauma was pistol in Halo 1, but everyone has trauma of that.
The 3-shot kill,
sure.
TS case.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Yeah.
That I was aware of. My friend was frustratingly good at that, so.
Yeah.
I
can't remember if it was GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, but that same friend would always troll me because I think it was GoldenEye, but you could throw a poison knife. Maybe it was Perfect Dark, but you could throw a poison knife into someone's corpse, and then when they respawned, they would be poisoned. They would be taking poison damage as soon as you respawned, and that would always happen to me. It was so frustrating.
I'm pretty sure that's Perfect Dark, not GoldenEye.
It might be Perfect. Yeah, I think you're right. It was so frustrating when that happens.
Oh, I bet. Well, I don't think there's too much else to say. We'll see if this actually materializes, but I do like the idea of it appearing both on NSO and Xbox. Although, let's be honest, I think the Xbox version will be a little bit more hype, but
I think so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, imagine GoldenEye, like, since they always do, like, the cross thing on PC, imagine PC controls for GoldenEye.
Oh, my God. That'd be cool.
Well, and you also get it, probably 4K on Xbox as well, which is,
true.
Obviously quite exciting if you have a 4K display. So, but on GoldenEye, you could have it handheld multiplayer, which would be really cool too. On Switch, I mean. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we move on to our next story, we got a $2 super chat from Sonic and Mega Man 531. Another matchup. This time, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat versus the Doomslayer from Doom. Who wins? I gotta go Doomslayer. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard,
Doomslayer.
but I think Doomslayer. I think it's not like a blowout, but I do think it's Doomslayer.
He's used to fighting minions from hell. He's kind of
that's kind of what Scorpion is.
Yeah, he's just a bit more fighty. So there we go. All right. Well, time for the depressing story of the episode. Yay! Square Enix with a letter to everybody in 2022.
I love how it was like a couple hours after midnight hit that came out. It was like everyone's like, "Oh, thank goodness we can finally leave 2021 behind us." And then Square Enix is like, first hours of 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that statement where they stated that they want to embrace NFTs and blockchains, saying they know players that play for fun will not like this. But by designing viable token economies into our games, we'll enable a self-sustaining game growth. What the hell does that mean?
It is nothing but buzzwords. That entire letter is just buzzwords and doesn't say anything.
Like,
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. Especially, and I pointed out on Twitter, you're getting into the stuff that is preventing you from selling further copies of your best-selling game of all time. The game that has made you the most money, not best-selling, so the game has made you the most money ever, and it's preventing you from, you had to shut down sales because of the server issues and the fact you couldn't get the parts to make these new servers, and you want to get into it. This is stupid. Yeah. This is really stupid. And it's just beyond frustrating, especially because I saw some other reports that came out that, to break down exactly what NFTs and blockchains and cryptocurrency and all this stuff does to the environment. This is from economist, saying during 2021, Bitcoin consumed 134 terawatts in total, which is comparable to the electric energy consumed by a country like Argentina. Related CO2 emissions were around 64 MT. I'm not sure that term, but it's enough to negate the entire global net savings from deploying EVs. In addition, there's more. I'll bring it up here. It's also a bigger carbon footprint than the per passenger carbon footprint of a direct flight from Amsterdam to New York. In total, the Bitcoin network consumed 89% more energy in 2021 than 2020. It's getting bigger and it's getting worse.
Basically, how much can we fuck over the planet while making as much money as possible with these damn things? And I hate this. You guys know me. I like Square. I'm a Square fan.
Yeah.
Squaresoft and Square-Enix. I like Modern Square as well, and that makes this hurts a lot more than if, say, like, Bethesda were to hype up NFTs, because I don't play Bethesda games. But Square, this hits me where I live, and it sucks.
I mean, the dumb part is that it's not like they're hurting for money.
Right.
14 makes oodles and oodles and oodles of money every month. Final Fantasy VII Remake was a massive success. Even their smaller titles like Bravely Default 2 or the Team Asano games, whether it's Octopath Traveler or the coming out Triangle Strategy, it's like almost everything that comes out from them sells pretty well. They don't need to do this to try and squeeze out more money because they're on the verge of bankruptcy or something. It's like, this is purely a greed motivation, and it's like, you don't need to do this at all.
Yeah. By the way, Eastman23 says MT equals megaton, 1 billion kilograms. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Eastman.
dear God.
Yeah. This just Amy's in the chat saying it's FF7 with the Mako.
It is
kind of.
That's kind of like that. You're right. That's so true.
Is this? We got this.
This is so funny.
They even claim it's clean burning. Oh my God! It's like,
no, it's not. It's not clean burning.
I love this screenshot that you posted, Rob. Rob posted a screenshot of Barrett saying, "The planet's dying, Cloud, and these crypto fuckers are trying to get us to burn down half the rainforest for a damn JPEG." That's so good.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
classic.
Man, this sucks though.
Now, an interesting thing here is a friend of mine who I think I do want to try to get on the show as well, because she worked on some smaller games and is very much knows Japanese, is on the pulse of Japanese culture and translates and whatnot. Linked to me a thread about the way NFTs seem to be seen in Japan, and how it's like this might be a bit more invasive. Now, obviously, I did see that Kotaku article where they mentioned that there are some Japanese players who are like, this is dumb as well. They hate it as well. So hopefully it's turning around. But basically, it's a long thread. I did not have a chance to read it myself, but it might provide some cultural idea. But basically, the idea is that there's a huge cultural gap in the way NFTs are viewed in Japan versus in the West. And, voicing your displeasure at them might fall on deaf ears because of this. Yeah. It's basically, they ends up being it's like the Westerners are getting reactionary angry for no good reason and throwing a tantrum for being ignorant, And, that's like,
ignorant about what?
Like, they don't know how these actually work. Like, look at the money they can be made. They're safe. They're renewable. They think they don't understand NFTs at all.
Except here's the question I always ask them and they never have an answer for it. It's like, how does this work in gameplay? The answer is there's no gameplay involved. It's just a way to sell stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. You may have already done this, by the way, Derek, but Juan is asking to return to the chat screen. I'm guessing.
I am so sorry about this. I got so worked up.
No worries. It's worth getting worked up about. This sucks, and it just seems like a domino effect. One company says, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, NFTs," and another company does, and more publishers do, and
they're trying to jump on a bandwagon, and they don't know what it means. They're just trying to appease their shareholders because it's the hot buzzword at the moment.
Right. And this whole, like, Derek, I don't know if you read the whole letter from Square-Enix's president, but it's just so
it would have made me mad, so gross. I couldn't do it.
It's as bad as it's worse than you think it is. It's so gross and corporate.
It's gross, corporate, and doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it's like 10 paragraphs, but it doesn't actually say anything in the end. And then at the end, in the last paragraph, he somehow tries to tie all this back into COVID, of all things. Our lifestyles have changed, and we are learning to coexist with COVID. Against that backdrop, I believe that the new technologies and concepts, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, man. This sucks.
Oh, no. It's not like people stopped playing MMORPGs because of COVID. If anything, they're playing at your MMO more because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good product. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's stuff you can only get by spending real money for a special mount, a special minion, some special clothes in Final Fantasy XIV. And I feel granted, the game shuts down, those are gone, my money's gone, I don't have them anymore, but it still feels like a greater sense of ownership than what an NFT does, because, hey, I have this minion that follows me. Hey, I have this mount I could use. It looks like the lunar whale from Final Fantasy IV. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, it really just, I hate it. I hate it, and I want them to backpedal, but I fear they won't. Apparently, Young Ye did a video on this earlier, just reading through the letter and this letter, and it just made him super mad.
I believe it.
Yeah. Only response I really have toward them potentially backpedaling is, I'm not sure if you guys covered it at some point, but Ubisoft tried to really rush out the NFTs on like their Rainbow, their Tom Clancy. I forget.
Oh, we did. Ubisoft exactly. Quartz.
Yeah, and how it was like a complete failure, and no one wanted anything to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all it would take, is it just to bomb for Square in one case, and they abandoned Avengers pretty quick, so maybe this will work.
Yeah,
if it just bombs.
Year of the Panda Otter Spicy says, so is Square close to being worse than Konami? I wouldn't go that far. At least they still make video games that we like to play.
Yeah, it's like if nothing else, their corporate shithead stuff is one thing. At least the games that are coming out are still pretty good.
Yeah, the creators are still doing well. It's like somebody knows what they're doing in some ways, but apparently the overall president has his head up his ass. So.
Yeah, I mean, Square Enix only have a few series they pretend don't exist, not their entire actual catalog like Konami seriously. Does. Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we'll see where it goes, but I don't see this going anywhere well. I don't think they're going to backpedal. In fact, I think they're going to double down.
We'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
All right. We talk about NFTs a lot. I'm done. Like, I hate these things so much, and I hate that we have to talk about them so much. It sucks. It's like when the whole cyberpunk thing was going on. The news stories, like, all right, we got to talk about this again. I don't know why those type of news stories always seem to pop up, but
because it always just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it is true. Let's go ahead and move on to another story, though. One that is good news, especially for an underdog series that I feel like this is good stuff for them. So let's go ahead and bring up story 4. According to Atlas, Shin Megami Tensei 5 has sold 800,000 units so far, making it already the most successful game in the series.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
It'll definitely hit 1 million. I'm just curious as how they're going to take it, considering obviously there's double dipping going on between the obvious comparison between Persona 5, but the obvious double dipping between Persona 5 and its Royal version. But as good as it's doing for SMT5, P5 is about 5 million. I looked it up before just to try to compare numbers. So I'm curious how they're going to take the number SMT5 has, especially on a more popular overall console of the Switch compared to what they're doing impact-wise with Persona. But overall, great launch. Glad people are actually playing it. It's at least not going to be, oh, we have no reason to make the series anymore. It clearly sells. So.
Yeah, I mean, and according to a Silicon Era article I'm looking at, Shin Megami Tensei 4 had sold 600K worldwide as of July 2015. So it seems as though the series is just on an upward trajectory sales-wise, which is good news for, obviously, Atlas, but also for fans of SMT. And you love to see it. Definitely.
Atlas has this thing where they need to get to the 5th game, and it magically does well.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, and this is just good news. I know there's been a lot of infighting lately between Shin Megami Tensei and Persona fans. I feel like
that's always been the case.
Just lift each other up.
I mean, it's I forget which Twitter person posted it, but it's the clip from Regular Show where Morty and his younger brother, who's way more popular than he is in town, and it's like that. That's basically just what SMT and Persona is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was all announced as part of a Famitsu New Year's thing, messages from a bunch of different developers. They shared artwork and said about what they were kind of planning for the year or just stuff like that. And Atlas said in November 2021, Shin Megami Tensei 5, which was released worldwide at the same time, made a good start with a cumulative total of over 800,000 copies. Thank you for your support and patronage. In 2022, the remastered version of Persona 4, the Ultimax 2, that's how they put it, is in March. The Nintendo Switch version of Nintendo 13 Sentinels is in April. And even more surprises. We're also preparing an unreleased new work. In addition, the 25th anniversary of Persona, which has been developed since last year, will enter the next new phase. So please look forward to that. So
they're working on P6.
Cool.
So
either P6 or another Persona 5 spinoff. Or
I would assume P6 at this point, considering they did the dancing game, they did the Q game. The only thing they haven't really done is the fighting game, which I'm not sure how eager they're going to be to do that, considering the P4 remaster is coming out this year. So
yeah, agreed. And they did Strikers, so
yeah, which is already a pseudo sequel. So
yeah,
it
feels like Strikers what kind of took the fighting game slot for the Persona 5 sequel. Because Persona 4 Arena Ultimax the story was a sequel to P4 essentially. So, and that's the same thing with P5 Strikers. So I kind of feel like they're not going to do the whole Persona 5 fighting game thing and just kind of go straight to 6. I agree.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if when we get closer to P4 Ultimax, if they just are able to include like 1 or 2 5 characters just to be in there. If they're not really, if they're not even like plot relevant or something, they're just there to be characters.
I'd be fine with that.
That would be cool if they added a few characters from 5. I think that would be neat.
I'm surprised we didn't get that for Strikers.
Persona 6 Racing.
Oh yeah, Persona 6 Racing. There we go. Perfect.
I'd play Persona Racing game. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Add him to Mario Kart out of nowhere just because. And he drives Morgana on the cat bus as his car.
Oh come on, that's perfect. That's so perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. I would really do wish they put more Persona games on, like actual mainline Persona games on the Switch, because hey, even SMT5 sold 800,000 copies exclusively on the Switch. Imagine what would happen if you put these other games that people really want to see on the Switch on the Switch. People were curious after putting Joker in Smash. Just do it.
I'm sure some of it has to do with Sony money, but we'll see what happens with P6, considering they know how popular it is now, that they can probably get away with funding it fully themselves and releasing it however they want. But we'll see.
It's just weird. I mean, it's been said to death, but like that would just print money for them. Just Persona 4 Golden on Switch, done. It's not complicated. That's just money.
Yeah,
money. You want money? That's what you do. It's so simple.
I mean, the current rumor is that they're going to find a way, that one of their projects is finding a way to try to coalesce P3 portable and FTS together to make like the definitive P3 experience.
It needs that so bad. Not that
not that P3's bad, it's just really archaic in a lot of regards.
It's very archaic.
Sure.
And I will say FES, I could use some revamping because it is so grind heavy for so little story a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And I will have nightmares of the final boss of Persona 3 for a very long time.
I remember you told me your experience with that. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I watched your streams for that.
Wouldn't have been a problem if I could control the entire party. Could not control the entire party. So, wouldn't have had that problem with that. But yeah. But hey, that's perfect because if they do combine the two and I replay it or something like that for review or whatever we end up doing with it, I can try out and see what the femme protagonist of Persona 3 is like. And what I encountered in Persona Q2, she's awesome. So
she's, from what I understand, a very popular character. And arguably more popular than the main.
Well, he's an emo. He's an emo kid, basically. So for good reason, but yeah.
The characters in P3 are more popular, I think, in Japan than the P4 characters are. But that's just hearsay. But the P3 characters are still very popular for as awkwardly written as they can be at times in the game.
Yeah, from what I can tell, from what I've heard from fans, generally it's agreed upon that Persona 3 has the best story. Persona 4 has the best characters, and Persona 5 has the best gameplay.
I would still argue characters for 5 in a lot of regards.
5 has some great characters. I would definitely argue that. But yeah, I've only played and beaten 3 and 5, so still need to get to 4 at some point. So
I have kind of a skewed perception of 5 because I've only watched the P5 anime. I haven't had time to play P5 proper, and I know the
worst version of the story.
Yeah,
I know the anime sucks compared to games. So I love P4's characters. I love that world. I love Inaba. I love the characters. Chie, best girl. And P5's characters never quite warmed up to as much, but I think that's primarily because
it's the anime.
The anime is very bad.
Yeah.
My problem with P4 is that I spent half the game quoting the Hi, I'm Daisy comic.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And no one had dinner that night.
All right. Well, before we get to this last bit, and I love how we still devolved into Persona talk after SMT5. I want to pick up SMT5. It was on my Christmas list. I did not get it, but eventually.
I'm the only one here who's actually played it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
reviewed it, but he's not here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was having fun until like the 3/4 mark where the game went, it's time to be a Megaten game, punch you in the face.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay.
I have heard from series fans that it's the best gameplay wise of the series, but the story isn't quite as good as 4's.
So, yeah, the story is just kind of the story goes long parts of the gameplay where nothing really happens. You're just kind of, here's a big area, go explore and fight stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm getting into my technically first SMT game right now with Devil Survivor 2 over on my Twitch channel that I just started. And that's
nice.
That's a trip. Only the hour I've played so far. So I don't know. We'll see what's we're in for. But before we get into our last story, we do have some more super chats. Apologies for missing them before this story. I just kind of was like, I gotta go away from NFTs. Alan Wilkinson with a £2 donation saying, Avalanche, assemble. I'm down.
Yep. Yeah. We need real life Avalanche to stop this NFT madness.
I am totally down. Jaden Buck with a $5 super chat saying, if I had the time, I would be starting a protest rally to stop these NFTs from happening. If only.
Yeah, this seems like a great time travel thing. If somebody could just go back in time to stop whatever would eventually lead to NFTs, that would be...
Get that classic gif of the person pounding a keyboard in the desk, destroying it. Just find the person programming it and just do that to them.
Yeah.
Kai, hello, with a $5 super chat saying, regardless of if the blockchain is clean, carbon neutral, or negative, it's still wasting energy and funneling people into bad financial decisions. Yep.
Yeah, well said.
Just scams and people losing a lot of money, which is just dumb.
Well said, Kai. Man, your kid's really smart for his age, man.
Right? I'm proud.
Thank you, Kai.
Evil Lucario with a $2 super chat saying, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim was the best game of 2020. I still need to play it, but I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things about it. Lots of love for that game.
Mm-hmm. And Screamo Shaman with the $5 super chat saying games releasing on Switch seem to go mainstream in terms of sales afterwards. I'm not saying Klonoa needs a game on Switch, but
yeah,
Klonoa, I'll say it. Klonoa does need a game on Switch. Come on,
yeah.
Klonoa needs a game in general, but yes, on Switch.
Yeah. Still waiting for Bandai Namco to come through with those copyrights into an actual announcement.
I got a quick direct question of saying if I ever finished SMT5. Yes, I did. Just did not finish it on stream.
Oh, okay, cool. Now you got to get all those old endings.
No, thanks. I mean, the game's credit, it does have a new game plus where you can bring everything you had over, so you can just plow through it if you want. But
that helps. That helps. All right. Well, let's get to our final story, and this is a blast from the past because I had completely forgot about all of this until I saw Jason Schreier's story. Let's bring it up. So, in a Bloomberg report straight from Jason Schreier, Ken Levine's new studio, just talking about it and how it has completely failed to make a game in 8 years and why that might be. Because if you might remember, Ken Levine shut down his, back in 2014, shut down his studio to start a smaller company. And 8 years later, nothing has been made since then. Half the founders have quit, and he goes into why that is. Mm-hmm. I completely forgot about Levine, I'll be honest.
Well, because he's been gone for 8 years.
Yeah, for 8 years. I mean, we talk about how game development it's a hard job, man, and games take a long time to make. But 8 years that's obviously way longer.
It's been over an entire console generation at this point.
Right.
At this point, even not very well run studios will usually have something to show at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I read through this report earlier today, and it unfortunately seems like, I mean, there are lots of layers to this, of course, but as in so many other situations, situations I've been in personally too, it seems like it comes down to one word: ego, as it so often does. It seems like, Levine's ego is exceptionally fragile, and he has to do things his way. Not that he isn't, an amazing creator. Bioshock is incredible. And personally, I really loved Bioshock Infinite. I know that's kind of not as popular, but I liked Infinite a lot.
Oh, I did too.
I respect the guy's, creative vision, but you also have to be willing to work with other people and a little give and take, and it can't all be about you.
Yeah.
The other vibe I got from the interview is just reading is that it seems like he doesn't know what he wants to make.
Yeah.
Also part of the
he might have the pressure from his own authorship where he's just like, I need to live up to this expectation that people have for me. And so it needs to be perfect. And maybe that's why he discards months of work, which seems insane. Who is funding him? How does he have the money to do this?
Well, Take-Two, in the interview, it talks about how Take-Two has a 15-year contract with him where they're basically just letting him do what he's doing.
That was a bad investment.
I mean, I guess the reason he can just throw away months of work is because he and his team are cozy and taken care of regardless of what they do. But if you're Take-Two, you have to wonder at what point did things go wrong and did your investment kind of not deliver?
Mm-hmm. Some bits here that Schreier himself pointed out that basically said, many who've worked with him have described him as a difficult boss who struggles to communicate his vision. His process, which involves frequently discarding months worth of work, has led to burnout and strife. And even in the article itself says, Levine is a flawed manager who often struggles to communicate his vision and alienates or browbeats subordinates who challenge him or fail to meet his expectations. Most of the people who said this requested anonymity because they feared repercussions because, hey, here's a recurring gag. The persuading Levine was so difficult that former employees joked about engaging in Kenception, basically Inception just for Ken, so they can get ideas in him that he thinks he came up with himself, so they can actually get some work done. It's like, my God.
Yeah, and you kind of nailed it earlier, Derek, when you said it doesn't seem as though he just really knows what he wants to make. And like starting off, I guess what he wanted to try to do is make a narrative Lego type of concept where the narrative, changes and evolves as you're playing depending on player actions. But even that concept was stopped and restarted multiple times. And then
that's also not a I was gonna say that's also not a gameplay mechanic. That's a narrative mechanic. So you can't start with that. You need to still know what kind of game you're making.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it was supposed to be a sci-fi shooter like Bioshock, according to the article, set on a mysterious space station inhabited by 3 factions. Each could act as an ally, an enemy, or something in between, depending on what the player did.
So Fallout New Vegas in space.
There you go. Yeah. But it never materialized, and we're now in 2022 with apparently Take-Two execs stopped by the office sometimes, or did, but Levine was always given agency because the ideas and themselves were great, but just the scope.
Not actually getting through them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little other snippet that Schreier pointed out on his Twitter saying, those who worked with Levine say his mercurial demeanor caused strife. Some who sparred with Levine mysteriously stopped appearing in the office, former staff say. When asked, managers typically described the person as a bad match and said they had been let go. This is from 5 different people who worked there. Others simply quit. The studio's top producer resigned in 2017 following clashes with Levine. People follow Levine because he can be quite charming and charismatic, but he can also be moody and lash out, singling out an individual while berating them in front of their coworkers, which that's always a good sign.
Mm-hmm. This paragraph is especially damning, saying during a panel discussion a few years ago, Levine explained the final act of his process. In almost every game I've ever worked on, you realize you're running out of time, and then you make the game, he said. You sort of dick around for years, and then you're like, oh my God, we're almost out of time, and it forces you to make these decisions. That sounds like a horrible production process.
Yeah, it does.
It's the BioWare magic.
Yeah.
As Sterling likes to say.
That sounds awful, and no wonder he hasn't made a game in these last 8 years, because as the Bloomberg article just goes on to say, but time never seems to run out at the new studio, because as we've been saying, the months of work will just get tossed aside and they'll start on a new concept.
I got this for Christmas and it's been a good read. Maybe he should pick it up, because this seems like some good ideas in here that would help him in his process and communicate with people and work well with people,
Yeah.
So,
Juan in our patron chat asks, speaking of games never being made, remember Red Ash? We don't talk about Red Ash. Red Ash never existed. We don't talk about that anymore.
No.
The
animation got put out a little bit, like a preview of it, and that was about it. And it's just like, no.
But I feel bad for the people who work here under.
Yeah, who followed him, because I can see it. Because like, hey, this is the dude that made Bioshock, the dude that did Bioshock Infinite and all these other great games. Like,
right.
He has to have his stuff together, right? Oh, crap.
Not as such. Yeah. I mean, I wish nothing but the best for Ghost Story Games. I do believe, like I said, Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite were awesome.
Yeah.
I believe the guy has an amazing creative vision and can make great games. He's proven he can, but not at the expense of his fragile ego and the people working underneath him. That's
I'm sure this has him furious.
Yeah, most likely. Or it could, kick him in the butt enough to where he actually has to, start working.
It could.
Because sometimes egos get angry over this. Sometimes egos are like, oh yeah, well I'll show you. I'll make the greatest game that ever was, and that gives them that kick in the rear needed to actually, spite.
Gotta love.
If it works, it works. So
there's I forget what the big thing is of. Here's the big thing. Sony spite with Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
you spurned us with our CD add-on. Fine, we'll make our own console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sony's beaten them 3 out of 5 times. 3 out of 4 times, because we don't know how the PS5 is going to work out. But
I will say I don't envy Levine's position in terms of having the pressure having to feel the pressure of needing to follow up on 2 immensely successful Bioshock games. At the same time, though, it's hard for me to have a lot of sympathy for anybody who kind of leads with their ego, because I have zero patience for egos. And it seems like that's really what this all comes down to, is just, it's got to be his way or the highway. And that shit never flies with me. So like, it's a tough position to be in, because you don't want to let people down, and you've made people so happy with your previous creations. But at the same time, if you're leading with your ego, then you're not really doing the best. You're not doing well by the people underneath you, by the people who are working for you. And that's just so important to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Well, before we wrap up here, we did get a few more super chats. Next up is actually just one. Darkbeat Andy with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, speaking of devs not making any games for years, what about Retro Studios besides Metroid Prime 4 and this Tropical Freeze Switch port? Apparently they were working on other things. They just never announced it. That is another strange situation.
The rumors I've heard is that they kept making things that kept getting canceled. So they would work on something for a year, it wasn't panning out, it got canceled. They worked on something for another year, it wasn't panning out, it kept getting, and this kept happening after Tropical Freeze until Nintendo apparently supposedly put their foot down and said, okay, Prime 4 is not going well, this is what you're making, you don't have a choice in the matter. Because you need to get something out.
Yeah. And
I just wish Star Fox Grand Prix had been real. I was hoping against hope that thing was real.
As an F-Zero fan, I was like, make an F-Zero game and put Fox in it if you really want to.
That's it, yeah, either one. I mean, they kind of already did one of Star Fox Command's ending. They kind of
Well, I mean,
James up against it.
Yeah, I mean, James McLeod is in F-Zero GX, so it's like
It's
like just put Fox and Falco in F-Zero. No one will complain. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If
only.
Brian Camargo 64 is asking me personally in our YouTube chat what I think of those horrible NFT animated series. You already said it. Horrible. There's your answer. You answered the question for me.
Yeah.
I don't, as we have said earlier in this show and other shows, NFTs equals no fucking thanks for us. So you already said it. Horrible. I agree with you.
Yep. Well, with that, I believe that brings us to an end of this episode and all these topics. This was a wild ride, I'd say. And Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. This was an interesting batch of stories, but thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I've always been wanted to be on the show and just chat with you guys about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great to have you here.
And where can everybody find you at?
You can find me primarily on the YouTube channel I do with a bunch of friends of mine. Some call me Johnny, Lewis, and Ted on Brain Scratch commentaries. John and Ted have also been on, Good Vibes, so you've heard them before as well if you're a longtime viewer of this channel.
Yeah, absolutely check that out. I believe you also have your own personal Twitch where you did stream some of SMT5.
Yeah, I dabble in Twitch. It's more just when I have the time and fancy for it. Between holidays and some personal stuff getting in the way, I haven't been doing it as much, but I'm trying to get back into it with the new year and all that.
Fair enough. We have links to all that in the description below, so definitely check out that for more from Ryan. Appreciate finally getting you on. And, of course, we got to give a big old thank you to all of you for supporting us for, we're into 2022 now. Second year has begun. Let's see how well we do. And thank you for sticking with us, supporting us, whether you're a big patron or small. But, of course, a little extra special thank you to our... I clicked the wrong button.
Oh, no.
For some reason, end card is labeled before credits. Let's get the credits up here. And yes, an extra special thank you to the producers. Oh God, all of you thank you so much. Without you, this show simply would not be possible. And yeah, thank you. It's a new year. I'm getting this swing of thing. But yeah, thank you so much.
All good.
Of course, an extra special thank you goes out to all of our executive producers and above. And those people include Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Fangs, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Octo Puppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Romsky 113, Critter XD, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotek, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Pagrama, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Maderos, Orm M, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, Jessica Toad, Deaneth, Coda, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Ditto M, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes in 60 Seconds, Nathan Steele, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Rosa Bowling, hi Steve's mom, Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Dinner Sonic, Derek, Jeff Ed, Stag Nasty, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Screamo Shaman, Mason Riley, Keel, Santy the Person, Brendan Hess, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Rizemon, Calvin Atkinson, Hinaru77, Brooke Obscura, Tarvold, and Anthony Wilson Jr. Thank you all so much. All 100 of you. Oh my God.
Incredible. Really quick. Sorry, Derek. I just want to say really quick. Assuming everything happens the way it's supposed to, I will not be on TNT for the rest of the week.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
going to MagFest. So have a great time on Wednesday and Friday, everybody.
You're abandoning me. How dare you?
I'll still be on our Discord. Don't worry. I'm not going to be like completely gone. I'll be on our Discord responding to people and chatting and stuff. But yes, I will be flying to MagFest on Wednesday and at MagFest on Friday, assuming everything goes according to plan. So I'll see you all next week when I return.
Yeah, crazy stuff. But I do have you, Daniel. You're the only one I can count on. And I suppose I should also say that I just little personal plug. I'm sorry, but I did launch my personal Patreon for my One Piece podcast today. That's over at patreon.com/Derek Bittner. Just my name, DERRICK BITNER. Quick plug if you want to start reading through all of the One Piece manga with me, 5 chapters at a time, each and every week. The first episode is available now. The next 2 episodes will be available on Friday, and all 3 will be available for everybody next Monday. So I'm not used to plugging for myself, so apologies. But
no, hey, man.
Check that out if you want to enjoy some One Piece with me and Brandon, our very own Brandon Bovia. I love talking about it with him. But remember, we got the main channel here too, and once we hit 75K, we'll be giving out a free Switch OLED to one of our subscribers. All you have to do is subscribe. Could get the Switch OLED. I hear it looks quite nice. And once we hit 75K, we'll be giving that out. And you can also become a patron over at patreon.com/GVGaming, where you can get access to our exclusive post show and ad-free content for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Until next time, good night and good vibes.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.